You're at another rotary, and or dead end, I should say. There's a couple of gas powered things there. I am out of room though. I can always come back, but let's see what we got. Could pass on the push mower. Snowblower looks like a Toro. Snowblower is actually a nice one. Let's see if I can get my, I don't have it on me. I was using my phone for my light. That would be a survivor. Let's go get the generator. But now I have a headlight. I see a little better. If something's really thrashed, I don't want to bother taking it, but how many horses is that? 11. Yeah, it's a beast of a machine. If we'll start with the snowblower, the generator. We'll get that in the truck, and if my ball sack holds out, we'll get that in there too. Good gas in it. Doesn't even smell terrible. This could have died for no output, and they got rid of it too, but you know, we'll try that out. Really decent one. It's got a oil filter on it, so it's a pressurized lube, I think. And it looks complete. I don't see anything missing off of it. And there's our pile. You can grab the mower too. That was fun getting on. Whew, that sucker's heavy. Toro's a good machine. They have a couple of issues with them. One is the center support bearing here is not really a bearing. It's more of a almost like a bushing, a round ball bushing. They have a tendency to burn out, especially if somebody puts the wrong size belt on it and runs it a little too tight. I think we did see when we were loading it up. You can't see right now. Oh, yeah, it's too dark back in there. One of the impellers is bent over. This is the same one where the generator came from, and that was an easy, I just had water in the fuel for the most part, and a light service, and gas in the oil. This carb looks like it's definitely going to be somewhat varnished over. Tires had air in them. Shoes are not worn down very much. They are set up kind of high. See what the cutting edge looks like. You can't see that either. Later on when we flip, there's a cutting edge down below. Usually it's, if you have a gravel driveway, you drop the shoes down and the shoes do a lot of the work and keeps the bucket up high enough where it does not scoop up the gravel. And if you have a paved driveway, you kind of kick them up and run it on the cutting edge. What else? This is a 11 horse, 32 inch cut, fairly large machine. And this has the there's a shift. What it does, the whole axle of somebody rotates and kicks back probably, I don't know, 6 inches or so. 6 inches or so. And the reason why it does it puts more weight or less weight on the bucket depending on how the snow is. But we'll get into that later. I'm gonna guess early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. That's a guess on my end. All right, let's get you in a stand and we'll get into it. I might as well start with oil. Serving the other one is full of gas. She doesn't look too bad. It's up to the mark and it's really clean. Snowblowers don't generally get that many hours on them, but what they do get is they work at pretty much their full capacity. You know, a lawnmower, if you're cutting your grass regular, probably working at about 20% throttle. A snowblower, either you're going to make it go as fast as it can till it bogs down, or you're going to, you know, get the big, thick, heavy stuff in the front where you can have in the first gear, but you're going to try to max the thing out no matter what you're doing. So they don't work many hours, but again, they just, when they do, they're just wide open. So anything that's a deficiency has a tendency to take them out. Let's go pop the plug out and we'll give it a couple cranks over, see if we got spark. And yes, Lily's hanging out with us. The mascot is here. I think she just ate a bone though. She's digesting. I think she's up to La La Land. That wire was already off too. So I don't know if somebody was checking something or could be blowing up for all we know. I should check and make sure it still spins, right? Let's go through that in there. But I believe we pulled it over when it was on the side of the road, so. Key is on, and see if there's any other safeties. I did not see anything, did you? I see no spark. It has electric start. Let's go put a plug on that. We'll see if that cranks it and we can get a better look at what's happening with that. Yeah, electric start on a snowblower, for those who don't know, it's actually just AC. You plug an extension cord into it. It's not like it's a battery setup. It's just the way they are. Let's see if the starter works and if we get spark. No spark. Starter works though. Let's go feel how. All right, so we need to investigate why it does not have spark. There's a key switch here. Throttle. Maybe on the throttle too. It's on the throttle, so I maybe just being the meathead. Where is it? There it is. Not gonna have spark if the throttle's not in the right position. It's got a lever that grounds out a tab up here. And how about now? Oh, there you go. That was simple. Hey, once in a while you miss things, you know. Let's go dribble a little bit of fuel down it. We'll fire it off, listen to it real quick, and then move forward. Thanks for moving over a little. It's getting crowded. Yeah, these are decent machines. It was like the two machines, I want to say in the 80s, actually even before that too, was Toro and Aaron's. There she goes. Hey, come on, a little faster than that. I hit the safety, I hit the lever rather, and it died. But I don't know if it was actually just, it was running on its own fuel. Imagine that. I expect to really tear into that carburetor. Did we just get a snowblower that like needs almost nothing? It's got fuel in it. That is making it way too simple for us. But we're not done yet. Gotta make sure the drive gears and everything working it yet. Where were we? Want to try firing it up again? Primer bulb is not having it. I want to pull that carb anyway. All right, well, it runs pretty good, doesn't smoke, quiet. All right, we're good to go. We still got to pull that carb. It's maybe just used up whatever it was in it, because it does have fuel in it. I'm not sure if that shutoff is on or off, but we're gonna find out when we pull the bowl. Yeah, it's hard to say. What a weird. I'm looking at the other hose. It's got a T going to the fuel line. I think from the primer. I haven't seen that set up yet. Why would it go to the fuel line? How would that push more fuel into the carb? By hitting it with a pulse. If it's got a needle and seat here, what does that do for, because it's a valve that's shut off, it's shut off unless you, I don't know, you hit it, do you override the needle and seat because you put so much pressure? What a weird deal that is. Some of you guys are saying, I know what that is. Good. Write it in the comments. So we'll all know. We figure it out as we go along. Get some of the plastic out of the way. Hey, see if we can get that cover off. We got one more on top. The electric start's connected to it. I don't know if it'll, if it got unbolted or not. There we are. Let's hold this up. Got that little fuel primer looking thing, right? Yeah, the primer line. I'll get that out of our way. Just go push those little tabs in on the primer. That should be able to stay behind. It's always one, right? We're in. Let's go. Actually, let's go see what that, yeah. What a weird setup, huh? Goes from the intake manifold. Ah, that's what it's doing, okay. Direct injection, check it out. So it's grabbing from the fuel line, but because it's higher than the gas tank, it'll never come up and over. Plus this is a check valve. So that's what it's doing. It's literally just priming fuel right up and just shooting raw fuel into the intake. Huh, never seen that before. Kinda like it. go see what if it had any fuel in it. It does. Yeah, there it goes. So the float was full. I just died for crappy fuel. Make you want to peek? Doesn't look too bad. Just yellow. So about a full float bowl full. I'm trying to see if I see any water. I see a little bit at the very bottom. There's a little dot down there. Let me see it. Let that set up for a little bit. Let's hell it's storing it. Let's get that apart. Let's go crack that thing open. On this style, there's a jet that goes through like that. At least I'm pretty sure. And that has to come out first before you try taking the top of the bowl off. Are you going to be too wide? Should be just right. Brass, so you can't, it's not like you can grab it with a magnet, you know. Almost. Grab it with a pick. We get this right all the way up. Well, maybe you do. I thought the end was a different size from the I thought wrong. Oh, man. Almost. I feel like I'm being watched. Yeah. It's somewhat dirty. I can see some right around there. As those holes get clogged, it doesn't run as good. Alright, now we can go in through the top. I was doing my deck. Redecking my deck. Material down, and it was like 30 boards 20 feet long, and the joists I have are already 12 inches, so I screwed every 12 inches on every board. It was like over 5 pounds of screws. I was 4 screws left. You got the hammer drill, and you're running the screws in. You know where I'm going with this? Can you tell? Do you? Some of you are looking at that blue tape. Yeah. I stabbed myself, slipped off the bit, and stuck the drill right in it. That one's gonna fight us. We're gonna need a pair of pliers. Do a little side grab on that one. Oh yeah, I wasn't getting that one with a screwdriver. Almost done. I was priding myself on not doing that. I just spoke a little too soon. It was right on the, I got it right on the bend too. It's like right there. It's not like you get it someplace else and every time you move your finger. Remind you. All right, exposure time. Maybe. Maybe not. Cracking an egg. I don't think we were forgetting anything. Nothing from the bottom is coming up holding it. I think just Mother Nature. Years of Mother Nature. Yeah, something's still holding it. Shouldn't be anything else up down there. I don't think so. I don't think it's a lower level. It's getting a little more every time. Problem is the gasket is stuck to the bottom. And the float can't come out. So we are going to kill that gasket, unfortunately. I am going to go take some time and do my best. Actually, I wonder if we should just pop it in the ultrasonic cleaner like it is. I do not have a gasket for that, and I wonder if the ultrasonic cleaner might help it loosen up. All that was pretty clean. Go figure. But you know, if I didn't take it apart, it would have had issues. Just the way those things go, right? Let's see if we can sneak that float pin out of there. I don't know if I have a gasket for this. I have ones for the common set, you know, which is just an O-ring. But these, not so much. How about going out the other way then? So I'm trying to my best to not totally thrash it, but in a minute I'm going to. This game all day. Go, I said. What time? Not sunk. I may leave. See if that comes off of there. It's already compromised in one spot. Sometimes if you use a razor blade, it actually makes it worse. Because it cuts into it. Putty knife spray about the really? And nothing's open right now. Let's leave it alone. Let's get the probably the idle. We'll get them washed. They look terrible, huh? in the bath for you. All right, so that carb's soaking. Let's go see what we got. Go check that bottom. Suckers. Remember what I was talking about? Let me see if I can get it so... Actually, I could probably do it with a lever. Hold on one second. See how much that bottom pulley. That pulley should not move at all. That ball and socket is wore out. That's what we're talking about. So that's what was the death of this machine. Why they probably got a price on getting that done. It was a couple $100, and they said, "That's it. We're tapping out." Looks like actually someone's been in there too because there's a screw missing. And actually the screws were missing on the top cover when we first got it. Yeah, so it's probably not throwing snow because it can't tighten the belt up. All it's doing is lifting the pulley up. So we got to split the machine, but let's go take a quick peek at the transmission, make sure there's no issues with that. If that looks all good, we'll split the unit and start seeing what that needs. We have to get in there because it's got a bent impeller blade on it anyway we got to fix. So. There's still one bolt on the other side holding the two halves together. A lot of times you can take the unit and articulate it in the center and it makes play for the belt. You can get it off. I'm going to try taking the bolt out of the center of the pulley. I think that front half might just come right off. If so, it'll make life a little easier. Yeah. So we can just do that instead. They make a variable pulley one too, kind of like a CVT transmission, but it's for the auger speed. So as it bogs down, this dimension will change, and it's got the same on the bottom. This is the last one. I should probably pop it and put it in gear. The handlebars are attached to the ceiling. So this half should stay upright. Anything can happen, but. Let's see if we can split this puppy. I have to take the little plastic cover off down below. I thought it was going to stay with that half, but it won't. Let's try it again. And that's a problem. Yeah, this is what we need to fix. So hopefully that pulley comes off. Sometimes that could be a deal breaker right there. It's got a couple of jam screws in it. Let's go get those off, and hopefully we can get underneath it and not destroy that pulley and get that thing up out of there. There's I forget what size they are. They're like a 5/16 or something. So I don't have something square to drive that up. But I'm gonna put a 3/8 on it. It's sloppy, and it wasn't even tight. Good. That's what we're talking about. And let's get our shooting on. That means the next part's really going to suck because that was too easy. Watch it just lift right off of there. All right, so I'm going to go set up an air impact to go drive down the center and try to figure out some way to get some pressure up on it and try driving the shaft down out of the center. This may be a tad loud, just a tad. So here's the plan. I'm going to run that up under, gets us pretty close to the center of that pulley. Pull up on it. And you just have to, it's not like you're trying to push the thing off. You want it so that the shaft can drive down, not lift the pulley up. So you're trying to take the load. If you just let it go, you're hammering against how far it's sitting down anyway. So you got to give it that little bit of float room. I see that now. Really? Awesome. Usually they suck. That's the death of it. All right, so there's that ball. Let's get the key off of it and that seal out of there. Oh, we want a pair of vice grips maybe. Grabbing that. Nice. I'm psyched that came off. Let's whack it with a hammer. And yeah, that guy's gone. You see all that gap? That is not supposed to be like that. Yeah, that's why they gave up on it. When this thing is put together, so on the other end of the shaft is the impellers, the piece that's throwing everything up the center. Usually that is out on the whole front assembly. You can slide it right out of the way. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll finish my thought. What I was going to say is, what you got to kind of do is, if you don't want to take all that stuff apart, is you want to take the nuts as you run them up. They're keyed in on the back side. They're not like permanent. They'll fall out. If you take the nut right off, it'll fall through the other side. Then you can't get behind the blade to go put those back in place. But normally what I do is I try to come under like with a pair of needle nose vice grips, and I just hold them all up, able to get this top ring off, get that out of the way, change the parts in it, put it back together. But this has a bent one of the impellers. Let's see if we can unbolt the whole assembly, maybe slide it out of our way. It'll make it the other part of the repair that much easier, and can, yeah, you know where I'm going. Okay, so it's gonna be these 4 bolts, and they have nuts kind of down inside the hole there, but we can rotate this to get what we need. If you look at that impeller in the back now, you can see it. See that one blade? Oh, you guys still can't see anything. Yeah, you can see it right there. See how that one's almost straight out, and then like that one's bent over. So we got to get in there and hammer that one anyway. And also, it looks like it's sucked up. The neighbor's bicycle or something at some point, so we can take that out and give that a hammering too when it's out. All right, see if we can not drop this part on the floor. Half the bushing. And what do I want to do? I want to make sure that I don't crash everything. So, let's do it 1/2 at a time. I gotta go fix up the bench. Get back to it. Yeah, so now it doesn't matter because we can access the bottom side of it. And that's what they look like. So you can mess with it, you know, while it's all together, but on this one, it ended up just being easier. There we go. And this knuckle is supposed to spin. Instead, what it does is it seizes up and the shaft ends up spinning like so. That ball is supposed to spin like that, but instead that gets kind of bindy, and instead the shaft, like I said, starts spinning on it and takes out the inside. See how it ground out away? It's actually missing a whole section right there. Well, there's your problem. So we're going to need one of those, and I do not believe I have one of those in the stash. I might, but I don't believe so. It is the weekend with everything closed, so we'll put that on the list. We'll keep going through the other stuff. I'm going to go see what I have for a carb kit, maybe for the gasket. If not, we'll order both of those and reconvene at that time. Well, we got to do some beating on this. You actually see it's kind of wavy too, but that's still one that really we got to stuff over. We can do it if we have to right on here. I think I kind of like to lay it flat on something though. Maybe we can fix some of the wobbliness of the base of the plate too. Don't know how well it's going to want to back up over that though. These should be shear pins, shear screws, and there's some on the auger too. And the idea of them is that they are supposed to break if something gets jammed in there, like a rock or something. It's supposed to shear those off so it doesn't take out, you know, doesn't take it out. And in the front ones, there's like a worm drive up inside here, and they're kind of fragile. A lot of them are brass on the inside, and it'll damage or blow out this case if you jam, say, a newspaper or something in the auger, or a rock, ice even. And it's supposed to shear a pin, and the axle can still turn on the inside of it, but the outer part stays still. All right, let's see if that comes off. Well, it worked the first time. Let's see if it'll play. Probably hard to tell, but it's sitting much flatter. You can see the lip going all the way around here. And it has a little scraper, so I gotta leave this hang off because I pick it up on there, it's gonna rock on it. That's what I was rocking on earlier. I believe that's probably for scraping ice that builds up on the backside off. Sometimes it can happen, it gets behind the blade. They would call it definitely a lot better than what it was. I could use another shot right there. Other than that, I call it good. You can see right here, that's where it was rubbing on the back. It must have been making a racket too. Another reason why they chucked it. Because the bushing being bad and it being wobbling around, it was rubbing. Sometimes the bushing is so bad that these outer edges can rub also on the drum. And back at the rest of it, that's our shear pin right there. That's what's supposed to break off and allow this to keep turning and that to stall. So we'll get that out of there, slide them off, and we'll give them a little whatnot with the hammer. Who's your daddy? There we go. Let's see if we can make that lip a little less lippy. Clean up my shaft. Almost. Testing you. So somebody wants to go home and eat. You want to go eat? Yeah, I think so. Alright, so I'm getting a hint. I can't go any much further anyway until I start getting some parts. I got to get that bearing and get a carb kit, and we can start reassembling it. I think we're going to make out fairly good. Well guys, it's like 2 weeks later, but carb gaskets came in, a little ball, and a new drive belt. Let's go finish putting this puppy back together. So I didn't want to clean off the two halves of that gasket just because I wasn't sure if I was going to try piecing that together. But let's just make sure that that is correct. Alright. I'm going to take a brass wire wheel, clean off a bunch of crap off of there, and a bunch of crap left off of there. That's a lot better. Let's go slop that back together. Everything's been cleaned and blown out and all that happy stuff. Do I need the gasket on first? I do. Jumping the gun. Alright, now where were we? Now looking at the side of the float. Looks pretty level going across. I'm going to blow through it one way. It's blocked. I can blow through it. Double check that once it's all together again. I think we are ready to put the two halves together. And we need to go like that. That one in first. Done. And now to the impeller bushing. Out with the old and hopefully in with the new. Hopefully that is the correct socket's a little on the beat side, I think. Oh no, we're alright. Tight enough. Just chat it. I'm gonna drill a hole in the other side and rotate that. Get rid of some of that play. Nope, that was just dirt. It's supposed to be that big. These all have, they're all keyed to the back sheet metal. So I'm gonna pull out on it and it's kind Kind of keep some tension. Fun part's going to be trying to get all that hardware back together. Because you got to work through these holes. Lucky me. I got a couple of... I have to put 2 of them on there. Yeah, we got to tie them together so that they can hold in place and then be able to remove them later. This is going to be fun. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to try to squeeze all that crap in there. Or, when we just unbolt one of the sides, we can probably, if we have to, we can unbolt both sides, but maybe we'll just kind of get one side fed in and together, and then we do the back. I'm going to better just take them both sides off. What do you think? Right? All right, we got a plan. Beats trying to squeeze in there. Some of the bolts I can't get to, but all I gotta do is spin the auger and it'll move this out of my way. Finish that up. And after it's all back together, like butter. Frozen butter, but butter. Let's go put the 2 halves back together. See if we do our best to slap them back together. There's a bolt on this side. When it comes together, put that one in for me. You raise the bridge or lower the water? Let's go with it. We need you to be much higher or you to be much lower. Flicking you up one. Go get rid of that jack stand and give her a little closing up party. There we go. I'm gonna get the last 4 in, and she's back as one. Looks like somebody already changed the fuel line on it. Seems quite good. Then again, I've said stuff like that in the past, and it's kicked me in the ass. So we need throttle hooked up. Gonna be able to get in there. Gasket's already still stuck to the top, so we'll leave well enough alone there. Gotta get under that plate. That vent needs to be punched in a second. Just want to get the screws started to support it. You're gonna lose that one. Don't you do it. What would you do? Tighten that one? Go for that one. cross up there. Yeah. Play well, or you'll be kicked out of the sandbox. Alright, that probably has to kick back a little bit more. I remember where that is on the cover. That's our primer bulb. I think it was over there. If not, we will fine tune as necessary. Get a bolt in the bottom. Get our fuel line on. We need strong fingers. And we got one on the bottom to go. Which one? Which one was it? We're going to go for the one that does not look like any others. Let's see if that takes us for the one. I would say yes. Of course, there's probably nothing to tighten any of that down with. So, what do we need? 3/8. Figure out where the tin goes. Pop the breather in. This would go a lot easier if you weren't standing so close. Thank you. Sometimes you need a little personal space, you know. All right, what do we got? Got to tighten that up on the bottom. The compressor has decided to come on. That's the wrong size wrench. We'll be back. We need that plunger in. Hold on. It goes straight up. This is where having little hands is handy. Emma, talk to me. Pop. Pop like you want to. Let me hang that. Get up. There we go. That's what we go around. On the wrong side of that bracket. Figures. Oh. We win? We're winning. Get the screws on that. Let's fire it up. Choke is down, is on. Gas full throttle, power. I think we're good to go. Lost it. I gotta do the idle one. It's under the cover on an angle, and your light's flashing. in the wrong place and we're bumping it. Back there. Yes, I think I have two possibly swapped. Oops. Nope, it was just the auger bumping the bench. I gotta set the shoe height. And we gotta loosen that back knife and drop it all the way down. So that's all done up. I think you seen that last adjuster there. That one is down all the way, so it's down all the way across. Probably moves between 1/2 and 3/4. I know, 5 days. Lowered them down. There's a piece of metal underneath, an 1/8 inch piece of steel. Using it as a shim for a guide, so when it's all set up, it'll run on the shoes and just be a little bit above the ground, because I don't know what materials, what surface it's going to get used for, so I get adjusted later on. Let's go check out the gear oil. I have a feeling that's probably going to be oil, not grease. A lot of them have like a grease gearbox. These run more of a gear oil setup, especially on the older stuff. A lot of the newer stuff now, they just rub some grease on the gears and call it. We'll leave it alone. It's dark. Look and see it's got a plug on the bottom. I think I gotta turn it up on the auger if I want to take it out from the front. I'm pretty happy with the mechanicals. I have not checked out the transmission yet. I don't expect to have an issue. Well, they said that, right? I want to clean it before I put this cover back on. So I'm going to take a little bit and give her a once over. See if we can get rid of some of the skeeviness of it. After I clean it, then we're going to probably hit it with fluid film, spray it down, and that'll help keep stuff from rusting. We'll use it on some cables and whatnot. And they're attractive. It's all cleaned up, oiled up. All the cables have been lubed, pivot points, stuff like that. I gotta try to move this video along. We've got the oil coming out of it. Yeah, a little dirty. Again, more concerned with sparkles than dirty. She's fine. How many pounds do you think? I'm gonna give it 3. 1. $10. Perfect. Finished product. Alright guys, that's it. I am done. She is finished. Didn't show a couple of things just because time was running long. But the common stuff, plug, blah blah blah, you know. All the pivot points were lubed. For the wheels, cables, chute, washed, then wiped down with fluid film. The whole thing's wiped down with fluid film and kind of like sprayed into the cables and all. Come here. Happy how it came out. I like that little articulation it does with the wheels. To move the center of gravity, to put either more or less weight on the bucket. If you have, you know, some like really heavy slushy snow and the bucket keeps riding up over the top of it, you orientate the wheels back so it puts more weight down on the bucket. Or if it's light stuff and you're trying to move the machine around easier, you put it more of a neutral position. It just makes it easier to kind of move the machine around. Or get like snowbanks, the high ones. Alright guys, with that I'm going to sign off. Thanks to y'all for taking some time out of your day and hanging out in the garage with me and repairing old free rusty junk on the side of the road. Alright guys, signing out. Thanks. See you later. Bye. Shut the gas off, let it run out of gas. Son of a...